Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
BooBaes.
BooBaes.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. BooBaes is next. What movie?
Yeah.
Which one?
What movie? Or actually, we're doing our top 5 horror movie.
Top 5.
like,
That's
moments.
why you asked
That's why
me.
I asked you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. These guys are fantastic. They are very consistent, and it's a great show. So good luck. Break a leg.
Why not two?
Kill somebody. Whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
BooBaes.
Okay.
Yay.
Hi, you guys. Hi.
Hi.
And hello.
And hello. And welcome to.
BooBaes.
That's right. We're your hosts. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And today we're going to change things up a bit and talk about our top 5.
Our top 5, which is really hard to narrow down,
It
honestly.
was,
That's
yeah.
why I was like, I have a few honorable mentions.
Yes. Okay. I also,
Yes.
because some of my honorable mentions are the ones that are on your list.
Okay.
And so we're doing top 5 from movies that we have covered thus far.
Which
so
you
not
already
just like
knew.
all time, but movies that are on our, which we have, I was looking, 87 episodes. We're almost at 100 episodes.
That's so much.
That's so many.
Yeah.
That's a lot of movies we've watched.
Honestly, it's hard to keep count at this point.
When I was looking back through all of the ones we had covered, I was like, I don't remember these films. I had to think back a bit and listen to some of them again.
Or a lot of them were, I'll remember the movie, but I don't remember the rating. And I feel like when I look back at it, my ratings change.
Yes, or my rating is always, whenever I'm listening to them again, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a lot higher. I'm thinking like 4, 4.5, and then it's like 3. And it's way off from what I would give it now after listening to us talk about it. Because I was like, that sounded good. Sounded like a good movie. I'd watch that.
It just happens, opinions change.
Yeah.
Life happens.
That's true.
And then if you don't know, we rate our movies from a scale of 1 to 5, really.
Yeah.
Have we given something a 0? I feel like we did one time.
No, we talked about giving something a 0, and we were like, well, what even, this movie would have to be like just a black screen, probably.
We try to be a little, not politically correct, but like, that was someone's artistic expression, so like, I don't want to like shit on it all the way.
But sometimes we do shit on them.
Some people just don't have taste.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Well, do you want to start us off with maybe your first, or your number 5? Do you have them ranked in order?
Well, I kind of did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll start with like the least one and then work our way to number 1. So my number 5 would be hopefully y'all have seen it, Carrie prom scene.
Classic.
Just like the moment whenever she's up on stage, she just won prom queen. She thinks it's like the time of her life. She's been cooped up. Have y'all seen Carrie, by the way? hopefully.
The OG
Yeah,
Carrie.
okay, come on now. Yeah, you know, it's really, one, shocking when the pig's blood just drops all over her. And then it's just the chaos that ensues, everybody dying essentially.
Yeah.
And it's honestly,
Shit hits the fan.
yeah, it does. And
Isn't
then
there an actual fan?
I think
that
so.
Kills the
or
teacher.
they have like stuff like this, like
I don't know.
railings that comes down.
Watch out, y'all. It's gonna happen. Be careful. Oh, there is. What is that?
Oh, there's a Mario up there.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I saw him earlier. Shout out to the Mario movie that comes out in a few months. That's a plug. Sponsor us, Mario.
We'll cover that.
Nintendo. But yeah, so y'all have seen it. Like the whole entire scene. It's just also so good and like such a great feeling. Having her get her revenge on like everybody who was just a bitch to her.
They were so awful to her in that
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Like
The
most
plug it up
rude.
and the tampons.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
would kill people.
I was
after
never
that,
bullied
too.
because I was like really popular in school and stuff.
Oh, it must be
But
nice.
I'm totally kidding. I was a band nerd and like, yeah,
I was too.
I got bullied. Yeah, and I'm part of the LGBTQ plus AI, you know, Y through Z. So you know,
People
I
in
think I
need.
was like, honestly, the only gay guy at my school. Well, no,
Oh,
I
at
wasn't.
the time?
But like, you know,
Like, people
who was
weren't
out.
out. Yeah.
So that gave room for a lot of people to be mean to me. But oh, and I was like percussionist in band, but like I played the bells. So I was like playing the cymbal, like all the extra shit because like I wasn't the most avid band member. I just really like band because you could go to the football games and it gave you an excuse to like not be home and you can be with your friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I still do band.
You do. And if y'all don't know, Caitlin is a color guardist or a color guard.
Yeah,
instructor?
color guard instructor.
Yeah.
So
But
still do it.
Yeah.
15 years later.
And then thinking back to Carrie, I mean, if y'all want to go back and listen to the episode, we talk about so much more in depth. But yeah, that would be my top 5.
Yeah. So okay, that's your number 5.
Here, yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily have mine ranked. Okay, yeah. I think we'll start with this one. This one's a little bit more of an obscure film. It's a Korean film called The Medium. We covered this film. I don't know if this necessarily qualifies as a like death, but it's a scene that really, really traumatized me when we watched it. Oh God. So trigger warning, animal abuse. The scene where, we have this woman, her name's Noe, and she's going through a possession. She's being possessed. And she is just unraveling, and the most bizarre stuff is happening. And we get to a point where she cooks the family dog, boils it alive, and you can hear the dog.
It's really graphic.
Screaming. It's so graphic.
It's like, have you ever seen
But
them people
it stuck
put
with me.
crabs in a pot of boiling water, but like a dog?
It was a dog.
Yeah.
And then she was eating it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she like
Yeah.
pulled it. It was, that scene was fucked up, and it fucked me up.
But like that kind of goes with like also in like
I feel like it.
because it was Korean horror, right?
Yeah.
And like Korean horror just like really goes
Actually,
there.
no, it was not Korean.
Was it?
I am a liar. I believe it was
Was it Thai?
Thai.
It's Thai. I think you
That's
watched
right.
that with me.
Sorry, I was thinking of, but it is so okay. Not Korean, Thai, and just bizarre though.
But that scene really does like that sticks with you because of
Yeah.
how like graphic it is, but also like shout out to the dogs that are in horror films because like if
They
you're
always
ever a dog in a
die.
horror film, like you get one check and it's very little because you're out. Like
Except
they're
for
always
what,
dead.
what
They
movie
don't get
did?
killed.
Oh, the dog and what's that movie where the little kids got
Which one?
oh Mama.
Oh, Mama.
Yeah, the little dog, the little
Mama.
wiener dog. He
Yeah.
lived a big healthy life. He
So
was a
some of them
boy.
make it. Depends on who's writing, I guess.
Yeah.
If it was me writing, I would save the dog.
Yes, but
Yeah.
this dog
Only
did
the
not
dog.
make it. Only the dog.
Only the dog.
Everyone else
Ryan,
dies.
you're dead.
Dog lives.
JK,
Kira
I'm
would
kidding,
make
I'm
it.
kidding.
She's cutthroat.
Kira would.
She would.
But yeah, so top 5, top 4.
Yeah, I think
We're
that
ready
would be
for-
my like 5, just because it was that whole movie. Every turn that it took, you were like, "This can't get any worse," And then
Yeah.
it did. And then it blew your mind in a whole nother level. And you were just like, what is going on? And I mean, it keeps you engaged. It's a rather long movie. I believe it was like 2 hours long almost. And the whole time, though, you're like completely pulled in. So
But some
I
of those
thought it was
movies,
great.
yeah, I was about to say that, piggybacking on that, like some of the movies are able to just like keep your attention the whole time.
Yeah.
Makes an hour or 2 hours go by really fast. And segueing into our my top four, I guess the fourth one would be, it's not necessarily like the most horrific or like scary moment, but it's actually really funny. It's in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's whenever, I honestly hadn't seen it in a really long time. I saw it when I was like a kid, I think, but even then it was only coming in pieces. So when we had to rewatch it, it's a phenomenal film. Like,
It's very good.
Cult classic, obviously, in what it's like created. It's inspired a lot of things. There's so many references. But like, because of the time and age, I guess back then, like some of those kills are just like really funny, because there's this one part where we have, spoiler alert, you think it's not Jason, it's Mrs. Voorhees who's the killer, and she is about to axe someone, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I forget the character's name, but she ends up
Alice, I believe.
Alice. Maybe it gives.
Is this the last scene, right?
No, it's
No.
the girl who's in the stall. She's looking for her boyfriend.
Oh,
and she's
that's
about to
right.
like going into the showers looking,
That's
and she
right.
turns around and it just like freezes on her, and then it fades away, and you're just left to only imagine that she got axed. But it's
The
just
ending scene too is also pretty comical. Like whenever I believe Mrs. Voorhees gets killed.
and she's fighting with
Yeah, and her head just like
it just gets popped off.
as it gets
Well,
chopped off of her. It's very.
It was
fun.
the 70s, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the effects weren't like, what we're used to nowadays. But that for me is also like, I guess wasn't necessarily what it was supposed to be, because it wasn't supposed to be, I don't think, comical, but like just also as well, like there's so many times in horror movies where like you need the levity of some comedy or something to kind of like pull you through it.
Yeah.
And sometimes some movies overdo the comedy part, but
Yeah, I know we've talked about that a lot with like Get Out and most of Jordan Peele's films, how he uses comedy correctly.
yeah.
Thankfully.
I was about to say, wait, what?
Yeah, no. He does a very great job of finding that happy medium where you get like a perfect little bit to just take off the edge of the
Yeah.
incredibly just
Well,
messed up
because
stuff you just witnessed.
It's smart humor as well.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally based with some kind of logic or truth behind it most of the time, or it's satire.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
What's your four?
Okay, mine are all just things that traumatize me, I guess.
That's why.
Because my next one is from another film that we covered called The Canal.
I remember that one.
Yes. It was a surprisingly, like I had never really heard of it. I think it was just on Shudder. It was during our month of
I
Shudder.
picked it.
Yeah. And you called it The Canal.
The canal. Canal. On paper, look at it. The canal.
The Canal. But so this film takes place around a canal, like a waterway. But it also has to do a lot with like the birthing canal and many other forms of canals,
Yeah.
which it's
a lot of
really only
references.
those two, so I don't know why I said that sentence. But this scene where this was beautiful. Like I actually listened back to the episode a bit today and was like, we were cheering whenever this scene came up, because it was the scene where he is trying to show Claire those photos on basically it's like a projector screen.
Yeah.
And they're looking at this film that had been developed, and he had kind of lost his shit because that's what he's going through in the film, and he punches a hole in the wall and finds like some other stuff in there. But so this hole is in the wall. And as you're watching these photos develop, each one, there's this figure that's emerging and coming closer and closer to you. And soon enough, you realize this figure is actually materializing, and it's coming through the hole in the wall. And the way that she just emerges, it was chef's kiss. It was beautiful. And also, simultaneously, the most terrifying thing.
Yeah.
If that happened to me, I would Like, please kill me now. I'm shit a brick. That's terrifying.
Super inspired by like Ringu, you know, and like
Yes.
Samara coming through the TV
television.
screen and stuff. But like that's what it gave. But yeah, I remember too.
Yeah.
It was terrifying because you know in movies they build up the tension, they build up the sound, the effects,
And this film had a wonderful soundtrack as well. I do remember that, and kind of a lack thereof at some points, which we know if you listen to the podcast, you know I'm a fan of, and when you don't lean on it too much, and this one did a really good job of that. And then it also so kind of lumped in with that at the end when everything's just going bonkers. He and his son are trying to escape through said canal, and they come across his deceased wife, who we have found out that he has murdered, because she was cheating and was apparently pregnant. So this is another part where the birthing canal comes in.
family drama.
Yes, a little bit. And this like bloated corpse of his wife, obviously it's an apparition, it is not truly his wife, is then giving birth to, and you witness a birth, which if you know anything about me, I am terrified of pregnancy, and the whole birthing process is disgusting to me. It's kudos to everyone who has children, but it really freaks me out.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks.
1,000% get a surrogate if possible. But that.
And you wouldn't even be present in the room when it's happening.
No.
You'd just be like, let me know when it's done, text me.
Yeah, or like I would be up above the top of the sheet thing. Like, you know, I'll be
on the other side.
I'll be the dad that's like feeding ice chips
Shaking.
or something. That's not actually witnessing. But this scene, you witness a like weird demon baby get birthed, and
terrifying.
I mean, it was.
It's really good effects. Really good practical effects.
It looked. I thought they found someone to give birth on television. I don't know. I was very shocked. But it was good, and that also stuck with me. Everything is just.
And I remember the viscous,
up.
the viscous. I think that's the word, like ooze
Viscous.
coming out of it too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of.
I don't know if it was the evil placenta or what, but yeah.
Evil placenta.
And then even before that, no, this movie actually. Now that you're bringing it up, there's so many good moments in this movie.
There really was. This was the one where I was like, when I was listening back to it, I was like,
oh yeah,
4.5, and then my motherfucker was like 3.5, and I was like, what? What?
Because I remember the
I
scene.
got mad at myself.
He was like in this like public restroom thing area, and you just see like these hands start to come up
that
over
part
the
was so
stall,
creepy.
but it's like long hands and fingers,
Yeah.
and it's just super creepy. And it's just like once again those moments where like everything's building up, and then it's just
Can we lead into an honorable mention from that?
go shoot, this
Halloween.
is your show.
Whenever he drops the teeth over the fucking stall, and which was that Halloween? Was it the 3?
Halloween Kills?
Or was it Halloween Kills?
No, that's Halloween.
No, it's one of the remakes. Whenever he gets out of the asylum with the podcasters.
That's the first one. Halloween. Like
Okay.
just Halloween.
But it's
Halloween
not the
2018.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I thought you were trying to say the
No,
original.
not the
I was
original.
like, no, it was not in that one.
This is why we shouldn't name movies the same name.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Scream 2022.
Yeah, can't handle that.
Both amazing movies.
Too much. But that had to be an honorable mention for me. That was savage.
Yeah.
That homeboy just gets all these teeth and he drops it over the stall. Talk about like scaring someone. Oh.
Well, I also have like these reoccurring nightmares where all my teeth fall out.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I had one time where my teeth fell out, but like I was laying in bed. Maybe it was also a bit of like, what is it called when you're sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
But like my mouth was filling up with blood, and like I couldn't spit the teeth out, and it just kept filling and filling. You know that moment where like I felt like my face was gonna explode. Thankfully,
Were
it
you
didn't.
like choking too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well that's good.
No,
that
I hope
would've
not.
been
I
really
was
scary.
asleep, so.
See, mine are just weird. Like mine will fall out and then they'll turn into like cotton, and I have to collect them from like in the couch and stuff and put them back in my
that's
mouth.
very
Weird.
Get out.
Oh, yeah,
Remember,
yeah.
he has to get the cotton out of the chair seams. But
Okay, anyways.
if you're like me, I found out I have a lot of nightmares, but we've pinned the dots that it's because I usually watch all the horror movies right before bed, and so they like bleed into my dreams.
Love it. That's the best way to go to sleep.
You ready for my 3?
I am.
Because I'm ready for my 3. Has anybody seen the movie The Strangers?
Yeah.
The Strangers. Yes. Okay. Mason. Yeah, it's 2006, I believe, but it's like one of those movies when I watched it, kind of set like my love for horror kind of little what's the word, it ticked the little interest, you know.
Oh yeah, peaked.
I grew up in a house like that was very like, you know, we love the Lord, we don't watch those kind of movies, you know. I mean, you can still love the Lord and watch those movies, but in our house they just didn't, and so it was very strict. So I would always go to like my cousin's place and watch movies, and we watched The Strangers, and it just kind of like the moment that I'm speaking of is basically setting it up. It's just there's this couple, they go to a cabin in the woods, and some people pop up and basically just want to harm them, but they like toy with them the entire time, leading up to them actually murdering them. So the moment is like there's Liv Tyler. She's in a kitchen, and you just see this dude with a kind of, what is that, corn? Like
Potato sack
mask, and he's behind her.
Man.
And we, as the audience, can see him, but she obviously can't. And he's just there for the longest time, getting closer and closer. And she's just like washing a dish. And then as soon as she kind of turns around because she feels something in the room, he's gone. And it's like, I have that moment at least 5 times every other day. So I like to sometimes imagine that I'm Liv Tyler in The Strangers, but that moment for me was just like the tension that it built, and then throughout the whole movie, like this poor couple was just getting like messed with, like in the most like way that I sometimes would be like, that would be really fun to do to someone, but like I know I wouldn't. But
it's like sadistic. This was the one I was talking about, that this was my
like an honorable.
Yeah, because it's. And just the whole ending scene there as well. I mean, can this be both of our 3s? You did that scene, I'll do the ending scene.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because that ending scene and the whole idea that really they made it through the night. They made it through the hardest part and the scariest part. But they got to the next day in broad daylight, these people that's when they finally get murdered. And that whole idea that like daylight can save you, you just got to make it through the night, it was shattered in that instance, and that was beautiful and honestly terrifying. And the masks were so simple in that film, yet like I don't know if I've seen anything scarier.
Oh, and even their answer, remember, because Liv asks, why are you doing this to us? And they just say, because you were home. So it's just like, yeah. Kind of like the worst of humanity, which in itself is like even scarier than a ghost story or something else.
And it's stuff that happens all the time. Like
could be your
Bloody
neighbor.
Happy Hour is going to talk about like murder's a very real thing.
Could be Caitlin.
It could be me. I'm the murderer, or you're killing me. Because you would probably be the murderer.
We could take turns.
Okay.
You're going first.
To die?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But I'm a Capricorn. Sally taught us that we live, except for in the new the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, y'all. That's a dishonorable mention.
Yeah,
right
on Netflix,
there.
We're not even covering it.
No. Garbage.
Only covered the original, which shout out to Caitlin who got me the shirt, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's so cute.
It's really cute. Yeah.
Yay.
And you can see my BooBaes. So we I guess I'll go to number 2.
2, yeah, sorry.
So my number 2 in the top 5 moments would be a movie from a movie called Sinister. Not necessarily like I would say. I feel like it's not. I feel like it's kind of split. I hear a lot of people that actually like it, and a lot of people that maybe don't like it. But I really liked it. And there's a moment in it where essentially this dude who is a writer is trying to put together a mystery, solve a case, and he's looking into this demon entity deity whose name is Bagul, and he has a photograph of him, and he's looking at it real close at night. By the way, he's like 3 whiskeys in, because every scene you see him in this film, he's drinking.
Yes.
Drinking. And so, which I guess you would have to cope with like the
Being
most. He's a murderer, like
true crime writer.
True crime writer. Yeah. There
and
you
his books have actually like solved cases, and I believe they helped someone who was supposed to be
a victim or trapped or something, but just essentially really heavy shit. So it's just like the whiskey helps him, but he's looking at the photograph, and the deity Bagul is in the photograph, and like it ends up like switching from that into Bagul being into like the bushes and the trees outside, like in his like backyard. But it just happened so fast, and they really do in this movie to build up the tension and the release of like, you know, giving you a long eerie like situation, and then bam, you get a little jump scare.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a sucker for a jump scare. I jump when even there's no scare happening. I just jump. Most of the time it's because I'm like waking up, because I'm always like half asleep. But it's
Bagul's
just
terrifying.
so scary. Bagul kind of stuck with me for a while. Like I honestly had like nightmares of Bagul, like sleep paralysis dreams where I'd just be laying there and he's just like looking over my shoulder, just like casually, just looking at me through the whole night. But yeah.
He just wanted some cuddles.
And there's so many moments in that movie. Like it's so good. If y'all haven't seen it, Sinister, the first
Yes.
one, good. The second one,
not as much.
they tried to lean too much into what they did in the first one.
Yeah, they
And-
definitely didn't
yeah.
go as well.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so my number 2. Oy, okay. I was stuck between what to make 2 and 1. I think I'm gonna go with Halloween, the OG.
It's a good movie.
And the sheet scene, like where the kill that happens downstairs beforehand when Glasses dude goes down to get a drink or whatever, and you just see the like pure brute strength that Michael has when he just lifts this grown-ass man up with one hand and then also breaks his neck while holding him up there. And doesn't he impales him on something too, doesn't he?
I wish a man would do that to me.
Yeah, for real. Robbie's like, what the hell? But that kill was just awesome. And then the scenes that lead into that, like after there, so we get the ghost scene where then he puts like just a bed sheet over him and the like
He puts the
iconic
glasses.
glasses over it. And I feel like that's probably one of the most memorable parts of Halloween, I would argue.
There's so many moments, but that is a top one.
Yeah. And that was just awesome. And then the way that he goes to then like set up all of the bodies afterwards, and we get Michael's true like artistic touch through all of his murders.
Because he like essentially kills all of Laurie's friends, and then just like sets them up around the house so she can like find them.
Like little presents.
Yeah, little gifts.
So nice.
Really traumatizing for Laurie.
Fuck you right up.
Yeah, but poor friends, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they really got the shit end of the stick.
They did. They got murdered real good. But I think that has to be up there as one of the kind of most iconic that I can pick out of films that we've covered.
Well, Michael
so far.
Myers in itself. I mean, that's so iconic.
We
There's
love Michael.
so many references to Michael Myers. There's so many like pop culture, the films that it's like created. That this is like amount of the franchise, you know.
Yeah.
And even all the remakes.
You can't go through the month of October without seeing him at least once. Even at like, I mean, unless you had like just blinders on.
Go to Hot Topic, you'll see him all year round.
Yeah, that's true. What's your number 1?
Oh, number 1 already. So my number 1, from listening to the podcast, if y'all know, maybe, my favorite scary movie is Scream, the 1996 film. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, he don't agree?
Oh, well, Scream, because it was essentially, I don't know, I really loved it. I going back also, I believe for some reason, I don't know why, I think they thought I was still too young. It was my dad and someone else, and I think it's always my cousins. My cousins are always involved, but they took me to the theater to go watch it whenever it came out, and I was 96. I was born in 94, so I think I don't even know how I remember, but I just remember Ghostface. Maybe I don't know how, but the moment that I'm talking about is literally the opening, and it's with Drew Barrymore. I think everybody's seen it. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's her. She gets a phone call, and it's like the classic babysitter at home, but actually she's not babysitting anybody. She's just at home, but she gets that phone call, and he's just like wanting to talk to her. She thinks it's probably some, scammer or some creepy guy. It's the 90s, so I guess people got prank calls all the time. And of course, it's Ghostface, and he's asking her what her favorite scary movie is, and then making her feel really scared and unsafe in her own home. And then it's the whole, I guess, kind of cat and mouse situation up until Ghostface pops up and starts terrorizing her through her own home. We've got the popcorn burning.
Insane.
We've got her then finally running out and getting chased down and getting stabbed. And if you do remember it, but maybe don't remember it, it's probably because you saw Scary Movie, because Scary Movie recreated it with Carmen Electra. I think that's who it was.
I am very guilty of getting Scream and Scary Movie confused. I thought there were so many things that were going to happen when we rewatched Scream, and I was like, nope. That was Scary Movie.
That was the spoof.
Totally Scary Movie. Did not happen.
Yeah, but there's actually so let's just go to the list through honorable moments. They're all from Scream. My next moment is, and it's honorable, I guess, is Tatum, her death scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's garage. It's a party setting. She's in the garage getting some more beers, and whenever she goes in there, she ends up running into Ghostface, and they have this kind of interaction where she's
very similar to how in Halloween with the glasses and the sheet. True. Whenever he comes back up, she thinks it's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so she's being very like playful with him, and then he's like, "Die, bitch."
Yeah, because she
like what happens here.
He's what's the word? Dices up her arm, not stabs, but he scratches her arm up, which later becomes kind of a trope in all the Scream movies. Whoever gets their arm diced up is either like about to die or is like some red herring kind of situation.
Yeah, they played on that in the second one.
Mm-hmm. And I think even in the new one that came out too, the 2022 one. But we have Tatum trying to get away from Ghostface, and she ends up going through, not the smartest thing, the little like cat door. It's not even a dog door.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a
really
kitty
probably
door.
one of the dumbest things you could do, actually.
It goes through it, and Ghostface ends up like pushing the garage door to open, and she gets like, just kind of crushed in the middle of the garage door.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
That was.
For us, not for Tatum.
No.
Yeah.
That was a really awesome scene. A very good death.
Mm-hmm.
Scream is so good. I wasn't as big of a fan until we went back and covered them again, and then I was like,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I disagree, Robbie.
What's your number one?
So my number one, I think that the one that I think stuck with me the most throughout my childhood was probably The Ring.
The Ring?
The American version. Yeah. So we did cover Ringu as well, and that was incredible. And I think I did give it a higher rating than I did The Ring. But The Ring has a lot of nostalgic stuff for me. And I think that whole introductory scene where we get the cousin.
Yeah.
And
it's all coming back to me.
Yeah, she's having that sleepover with one of her best friends, and we find out that, she had gone to the cabin and stuff and seen all those things, and her face whenever you finally get her unveiling of her body in the closet. Yeah. That shit scarred me for life.
Because they only show up for like a split, like 5 seconds at that.
It's just like,
it's enough. Yeah.
But it's terrifying. And then that film, I know we talked about it whenever we covered this film, like on the podcast, but whenever that movie came out, there were a bunch of prank calls going around at the time of like people calling your house randomly and just saying like 7 days. And the moment, it was just such beautifully timed. I don't know who the fuck did it, but it terrified me, at least for a week, because the moment the film ended at my house, my phone rang, and it was one of those prank calls. And I answered the phone, and it said 7 days, and I was like, that's it? I've just killed myself, killed my little brothers, we're gonna die? And
family mass suicide.
Yeah, I was like, I made them watch it, now their blood is on my hands.
Oh, God.
It was terrible. And I was like in the first grade or something.
But that whole movie, yeah, I remember watching that back in the day. The Ring and I believe The Grudge were like one of those those movies that really stuck with me. Like where it's like you're like, I was like this watching.
Even going back, and I'd seen The Ring probably like 15 times or something, it felt like. And then going back and watching it again, there were some moments where I was like, I don't know if I really want to see this. I'm a little scared.
Well, it's because it's so much different too. Like as we watch them for the podcast, we go in with like a more analytical lens. So it's just like you either see things or feel things that you didn't like really sense before.
There was a lot of symbolism in that movie.
Yeah.
Like once we actually watched it from that kind of lens, I was like, I have to give this film more props than I actually intended to, because they really thought this shit out. I mean, of course, the Ringu really laid all of that groundwork, but I feel like the American version also just maybe almost a little too much overboard with like the circular symbolism throughout everything in the film.
Oh yeah, that gray color scale.
Yeah,
that they were using.
That was not my favorite.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, but overall, I think that face there was probably one of the most like makes my skin crawl.
And then you like fast forward, and then you have Samara coming out of the TV screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all very iconic moments that like even like people who don't happen to watch horror movies, like I feel like would know.
I feel like, and whenever, so my brothers had some sort of, like one of those, it was a video game thing where you like, it videoed you and it put you in the video.
Like a virtual reality?
Yeah, but like way before actual virtual reality. And so it was like, it just kind of put you on the screen. It was like a green screen thing. I don't know, it put you in. But this little camera also worked, and they would put it outside their room as like, who's coming into our room kind of thing. And so then one time, to fuck with them, I dressed up as Samara, because I had really like long, dark brown hair as a kid, and I just got some like white tattered rags and flipped my hair over and was like soaked and was like towards that camera. They came out of the room screaming. Love it.
I would have beat you up.
So much trauma from everyone.
Yeah. But I mean, little brothers. I never had one. Always wanted one.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm just kidding. They're fine.
It's too late now.
Okay.
It's okay. But yeah, so that's your number one?
Yeah, I think so. It was hard to pick. Throughout everything, there's so many awesome movies that we've covered.
We have too many episodes.
This very long time now.
And so many more to go.
87 was shocking. Yeah, I know there's so many films that I want to cover still too.
Yeah.
And we've not even gotten close to. So I'm excited.
Me too. And then I wanted to honorable mention another one,
Yes.
Signs, if nobody's seen it, which is a future episode that we're going to be covering, because we do take listener requests, and this one was actually requested by our a really awesome listener named Andrew. And
It's also our anniversary today, so
shout out Andrew.
Yay, Andrew.
And so this
not
moment
here.
in Signs, for me at least, because I watched it in the theater with my two older sisters, and whenever it came out, so I was still pretty young. And it's whenever this alien just walks past the camera as all the little boy, like it's the little boy's birthday party, and he walks past the camera, and you don't even like see it. Really, it's like raw footage, and it's just, I don't know why, it just scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, Signs scared me as sorry. Then I just thought of The Sixth Sense.
Oh.
And that scene with the little girl under the bed throwing up. For the longest time, I thought she was eating a rat. But she was puking because her mom overdosed her.
Feed her the poison, like Pine Sol. Yeah.
Anyways, that's a great movie. We should cover that.
That's what we do, is we spend time covering the most gruesome and horrible things that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot of fun.
Terrifying.
Because it happens in movies.
It's
not
true.
in real life.
Yes.
It does happen in real life.
I was like, not real life, but we do cover movies that are based on real life. So, JK.
Art imitates life, and life imitates art.
That's right.
But as always, thank you for listening to us today, you guys.
Yeah.
I've been Joshua. This has been Caitlin. I'm so used to doing our sign off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, we're with Rogue Media.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful that they put this on and have given us this opportunity to talk and talk at y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, and we, as always, you can find our podcast and other podcasts at RogueMediaNetwork.com. And
That's right.
if you want to follow us and get into the mix, listen to our podcast, you can follow us at our Instagram.
That's
and
right.
It's at BooBaes Podcast, BOOBABES, because we're your BooBaes, not your BooBaes.
Yes.
Oh, I think I got that backwards.
I think you did it right.
I did it right.
Maybe there's an extra B in there though.
It's okay.
I don't know.
Y'all know.
My brain's not reliable. But yeah, you can always reach out to us. Let us know which horror films are your favorite or which ones you don't like. We did have one of the listener requests we covered was of a film that someone was like,
She totally shit on it.
She hated it.
Yeah.
And
but she
that
wanted
was
us to
so
cover it.
fun for us to do because we also hated it. And
Sometimes it's really fun to just talk crap about a really bad film. Yeah.
So we do all the things. So if you want to let us know, just reach out to us on there or come up to us right now and talk to us about your favorites. And if you want us to cover your episode, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So until next time.
Bye, Baes.
Bye, Baes.
Okay. Do you need this?
Yeah, I need that.
There you go.
All right. So Caitlin came in and she was all rushed
I was.
because she thought the show was at 5. And it's probably my fault, not hers. But how good a job did she do for somebody who was so rushed? I mean, she did such a good job, right? Yeah. Give her another. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Not supposed to applaud for yourself. These are two of my favorite people in the world. They do a really good job of putting together a really thoughtful show. And I think that is the consistency and the fact that you actually think about it before you do it, because we've done shows that we didn't think about before. Yeah. And so I just want to thank both of you for continuing to do your show and continuing to put out stuff that people like. And so that's it. Cool. That's all I wanted to say. I really appreciate them. So thanks, guys. All right.
BooBaes.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.